So you guys, I had a call with a man from the dating apps. And so we were chatting away and he asks me, so what are you doing tonight? And today's Friday. So he was literally asking me, what am I doing Friday night? And I don't have anything to do tonight, so what do I respond? I said, well, I don't have anything to do tonight. To be honest with you, I'm gonna walk the dog. That's what I'm gonna do. I decided to be upfront, right? Okay. Anyway, so we keep chatting, and after a while he goes, so what are you gonna do this weekend? What are your plans for this weekend? And honestly, I don't have plans for this weekend. Like, I have nothing to do. So the decision was, am I gonna make something up? Like, should I just freaking make something up so he won't think that I'm a loser? Or should I tell him the truth? I got really bad FOMO that everybody in the world has plans this weekend except me. And I felt really self-conscious. I actually almost felt like crying in the call. I usually have something planned on the weekend, but this weekend I don't have anything planned. But what I want to ask you guys is, should I make it up that I have something to do so I won't be such a loser like looking person? Or should I actually say the truth and say, so I ended up saying, well, I'm free the entire weekend. And he didn't ask me out. Like, he didn't ask me out. So anyways, that kind of sucks. So I'm putting on my makeup and I'm gonna go walk the dog.
Today, we're looking at a woman who claims dating in 2026 is a shit show. But as we dig into her story, we find lies, hard to get games, and a complete lack of self-awareness. Let's see why the golden years of dating are turning into a lead weight.
Divorcing in your 50s? Here's what you need to know about dating in our demographic. You've been warned. I'm 53 years old. I was married for 24 years, and I've been on my own for the last couple of years. I'm not on the dating apps now. I'm not actively dating. I'm in a relationship, but I've managed to collect enough dating stories that you would think that I dated for 20 years. And, you know, people are going to be broken in different ways. So I met this guy early into my dating. It was on Tinder. I was banned from Tinder. I can only speak to Tinder in really the fall of 2022. And I think there were some good guys on there, and I might have used them all up. High quality guy, attorney, lived in my area. We went on a whole bunch of dates, and he knew that I was not looking for anything serious. So he said, do you want to come to my law firm's holiday party? So I was like, of course, sure. Asked him, what's the dress code? And he was like, you know, holiday festives. I'm like, okay, great. So I end up wearing like an off-the-shoulder black sweater dress, but it's like skin tight to the knee. So I had like the lashes, my hair looked really good. I had the smoky eye, I had the right like dangly jewelry, the dress, like everything was good. I was taking pictures, I was sending them to my friends. I was like, look how I look good. You know, it was exciting. Again, I hadn't dated since like the prehistoric era. So it was like exciting for me to like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm in the streets. This is why I'm on the apps for moments like these. But like, this is the fun stuff. So he's late for the date, considerably late. Like, I want to say like 45 minutes where I come out of my building thinking like, and he gets out of his car and he's wearing khakis. So that was great. Like, he was just like casual Friday in 1994. I'm all like skin tight, stuffed in, lashed. Okay, sure. Holiday party was at one of the partners in the law firm at his house. It's a really beautiful area at his big house. It was going to be catered, place cards, you know, chef, the whole thing. We pull up to the house and it's dark. Dark. He's like, yeah, maybe the party's in the back. I'm like, okay. We get out of the car. We walk up to the house, knock on the door. Nobody answers. Now, I guess he knows this guy well, so he lets himself in because he's like, oh, maybe the party's like in another room. They can't hear us. So we walk in, dark in the house, except for a woman sitting on the sofa, bundled in a blanket, watching television. Jumps off the sofa and she's like, oh my God, greets him because she knows him. He knows her. He's the wife of the partner. And she said, nobody told you? And I'm like, oh my God. Nobody told you? We had to cancel. The kids were sick. They were supposed to call you. And he's like, no, nobody called you. So now she's like scrambling. So imagine that, like you're cozy on your sofa watching like Bravo. And he's like, jackass comes in with his khakis and like some slutty tall date from Tinder. Husband comes like stumbling downstairs and he's like, oh my God, they didn't call you. No, we've established nobody called us. That's why we're here. We're in your house. Okay? Nobody called us. So he's like, oh, I feel so bad. Can I offer you a drink? And I'm like, I just want to leave. Does Uber come out here? Can we just go to dinner? Let's go to dinner. I'm starving and maybe at least I'll get lucky. So we go to a restaurant, like 20 minutes away. We get there, the guys arranged to pay for dinner for us, which was really nice. So we sit there and we order food and he looks at me, he's like, I'm not feeling too well. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he says, well, I haven't been taking my heart medicine. What does that mean? God's gonna strike me down, by the way. I'm not mocking these guys for being broken. I'm not perfect, okay? I have all sorts of all my own stuff. Like, I'm not like, look, like, this isn't like, you know, supermodel physique, but I take care of myself. And I'm like, should we go to like an urgent care or to like an ER? And he's like, no, I just need to find like a CVS so I can take something in the interim. I said, how long has it been since you've taken your medication? He's like, you know, a couple months. I'm like, cool. Does your doctor know this? He says, no, I'm supposed to take it every day. I said, okay. So we end up spending the next like 45 minutes with me on Waze trying to find a CVS that's open in the country. I was back home in my apartment at 9:30 p.m. And by 9:45, I was sitting on the floor with my polenta fries.
These are my dating non-negotiables. Everybody has their own list. This is mine. So I don't like tattoos. It's not my thing. So tattoos is on my list as a non-negotiable. I don't like smoking. I don't want to kiss an ashtray. And I am a smoker, actually. I don't like to be around smoking because I get tempted to smoke cigarettes. But I also don't like the smell. I don't want it in my hair. I don't want it on my clothes. So smoking for me is a non-negotiable. I am sober. So I don't mind being around someone that drinks, but if drinking is their whole personality, that's a non-negotiable for me. I don't want to sit in bars and drink. And as a matter of fact, the last guy I dated, every time we went out to eat, he wanted to sit at the bar. It was such a red flag. We never sat at a table. So that's kind of a non-negotiable to me. If I'm going to give my time to go on a date with you, I want to sit across the table from you, have a conversation, get to know you. I don't need to sit at the bar. I don't need to sit at the sushi bar. I think if you've been married for 20 years and you're interested in chatting with the people around you, sure, sit at the bar. Nothing wrong with it. You're by yourself on a Friday night, sit at the bar. I don't want to go on a date and sit at the bar. So that's a non-negotiable for me. Bad communication in terms of texting is a non-negotiable. If we have plans, I don't hear from you until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I like regular adult communication, and that could include, how's your day going? Like a check-in. What are you up to tonight? What are your plans? What are you thinking? Just anything, like a check-in, just to feel connected, to say hello. Some men are not into that. I work full-time, so I feel like if I can make the time during my workday, you can certainly make the time to send a text or respond to a text. So mature, adult, regular communication is important to me in a relationship. Not in the early dating stages. Like, I'm guilty of, in the early dating stages, going home and going to bed and watching Netflix saying that I'm out for dinner because I just want to seem, you want to play a little hard to get, right? So I have been known to do that. I've been known to say that I'm busy because I have dinner plans and go home and watch Netflix. What else are my non-negotiables? Dress. For me, appearance is very important. I put a lot of effort into how I look, into fitness, into eating right, into taking care of myself, into a youthful appearance. I put a lot of effort into it. So I want to be someone that appreciates it and also puts the effort in themselves. I don't like that untucked shirt look. I don't like jeans with a big untucked shirt. I like a pants and a belt and a tucked in shirt.
Dating over 50, this just happened and I am upset about it and I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna jump on here and see what y'all think. So please leave me a comment down below. And I'm definitely a big believer in, you gotta listen to your intuition, you gotta look within, and I'm certainly gonna do that. And I've kind of been doing that. But, I will tell y'all what just happened. So basically, Mr. GK and I had a date planned for this Friday. And, we went to lunch on Tuesday, which we've actually been doing that every week, and it was fun, whatever. But I have been getting some, intuitive hits of things that aren't lining up. I don't know. I can't really explain it. Maybe it's some of his behavior. Maybe it's like sometimes he takes longer to text back, which I know that's not a big deal. So I don't think that's it at all. I don't know. I actually went and even saw my therapist and she was like, Heather, those really aren't red flags. Those are more like orange flags. And so just don't worry about it. So I was really trying to just kind of figured it's probably my past, but there is some things in his behavior. So I'll give you an example. This morning, he texted me good morning and sent me this link to some video thing he was in. And so I responded and was like, oh, whatever, love it. You know, you did such a good job. And then I said, so what time are we going tonight? Because when we talked on the phone last night, he was like, you know what, I don't really know what time I'll be able to pick you up tomorrow night. And I haven't really made a plan for what we're doing because my daughter, he has his kids this weekend and his daughter is, you know, going to go to the lake, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I'll let you know the time and place when I get in, and I figured this out last night. Well, then I woke up this morning and he didn't tell me, he didn't text me anything. And then when he sent me the good morning text, there was nothing in there about this is what time I'll pick you up. And so, you know, that's why when I responded to his text this morning, when he sent me that video, I said, great job. But then I also said, what time will you be picking me up? And he didn't respond. And then I went to yoga and I got out of yoga. I sent him that text at 9 a.m. and then I got out of yoga at like 11. I got home at like 11:30. And then by noon, he still hadn't responded. So, and actually he left me on delivered, which I don't love that. So I thought, well, maybe he didn't read it because, you know, the first line said, good job. And then the second line was the line that said, like, what time are we going tonight? So I thought maybe he is in a meeting and he left it on delivered, so he didn't see the second line. So, you know, of course, I sound like a teenager that I'm freaking out so much about the dumb freaking texting, which I, you know, overthink it, I know. So I sent him a text at noon and I said, did you not get my above, or did you not read my above text, ? Because I'm thinking like, surely if you read it, you would have responded. So he called me and he said, right after that, he's like, hey, you know, call me right back. So I did. 1 second, I'm watching my son's dog this weekend and he's being crazy. I'll show y'all. Oh my goodness, you guys stop it right now, stop. And so basically we talked on the phone for like an hour, and not an hour, 30 minutes. And I said, he was like, listen, I'm really sorry, but this is my last weekend with my kids. And he was like, I'm feeling really guilty about leaving my daughter tonight because my other two kids are going to be gone. So she was going to be here alone. Mind you, his daughter's 16. And there's a part of me that's thinking like, why would a 16-year-old daughter want to be with her dad on a Friday night? Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I was 16 years old, I was with my boyfriend or with my friends all the time, especially on a Friday night. So that thought did cross my mind. And so I was kind of mad, but he was like, you know, I'm sorry, I should have told you earlier. I was like, that's why I didn't respond to your text, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And, you know, and I actually was like, you know what, I don't love this at all. In fact, it makes me kind of mad. And I'm kind of feeling really bad about it, because I said, do you even really have time for a relationship? You know, if you have these 3 kids and whatever. And he was like, yeah, you know, I think I do. And I was like, okay, you know, and we kind of talked through it. And again, he was like, I'm sorry. And I said, I also didn't love that you didn't respond to my text. Even if you didn't know what you wanted to do, you should have just said that, like, hey, you know, I'm still not sure what we're going to be doing. So give me a minute or an hour, whatever it is. And then I'll, you know, get back to you. And I also owned my anxiety, though. I was like, I know that I'm also anxious, and I own that, whatever. If you don't respond to a text, I know I don't need to read that much into it. So I guess we had an okay conversation. You know, he really didn't say like, but here's when I want to see you again. Like, I would have loved that. So I actually said, well, when am I going to see you again? And he was like, well, next week I don't have my kids. And I know we talked about getting together on Father's Day, which is Sunday. And I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, okay, well, how about Monday or Tuesday night? So we decided on Tuesday night. But still, I feel like he could have like come over for coffee or asked to have breakfast with me tomorrow morning or something. I don't know. And so we got off the phone and I just feel terrible. And I just feel like, I don't know, something in me is telling me that something seems really off. And again, here I go. Like, is it my anxiety or is it my intuition? And I just don't know. And I guess I won't know until time goes on, you know, but like part of me is like, I should just end it now, because, you know, what if he's lying? But then there's another part of me that's like, well, what if he's not lying? And what if his 16-year-old is an odd 16-year-old who likes to stay home with their dad on a Friday night? What if he is telling me the truth, you know? And so I don't know. So I guess the thing that's like sticking in my head is like, if you don't know what to do, then just don't do anything, you know? So I think I'm just not going to do anything, and I'm just going to see how he shows up. But if this like bad feeling and this sadness or whatever you want to call it, it continues, like, and if, you know, if he continues to kind of treat me this way, because that was not okay. Like canceling a date at noon on Friday, I don't love that. In fact, I hate it, and I deserve more than that. And so there is a big part of me that's like, this is not okay, and I should just break up with a guy. but I'm not 100% sure. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what y'all think. Okay, thanks. Love you guys.
I'm about to go rogue and create the most out-of-pocket dating profile for myself and just see what happens. I'm gonna collect some data because I'm already collecting data on these men that they think it's okay to say the craziest things or write the craziest. One guy, his name is Phil's Fan, and he said he, as his bio to describe himself, I'm part of the 8-inch club. That's what he said. That's what he's bringing to you. So lucky. Then one guy says to me, you are the bee's knees and the bomb.com. First of all, if you're saying the bomb.com still, you were, when did that saying come out? The early 2000s, maybe? On the bomb.com and the bee's knees, and he wants to marry me and make babies with me. I'm 51. He is, I think he was the same age, and he auto-tuned his face. Not auto-tuned. He face-tuned his face, like airbrushed it. And it's just crazy what they say, though. Like, one guy goes, how do I sign up to go on a date with you? You're gorgeous, right? Sir, come here. We're on the dating app. That's where you signed up. Now you have to ask me out on a date. That's where you sign up. Like, it is crazy. They think that's cute, I guess. And then the 40 to mid 40s to late 40s, even after 40, if you don't know what your dating preferences are or what you are looking for, you're just winging it at 45 to 50. You gotta get your shit together. You should know what kind of relationship you want. And then the men that are just like, I mean, I guess I should appreciate the honesty that they are, they want intimacy without connection. Just go pay for it. Go pay for it. What do you on the dating app for? But I think I'm gonna create a really crazy dating profile with the most obscure things. So if you give me some ideas on what I should put for my prompts, weird stuff that I like to do, this should be fun and a great social experiment.
If you think her Tinder stories were bad, you need to see what happens when the 8-inch club starts messaging her in the next video. Tap here to see the total collapse of modern standards. Stay grounded.